Every player who ever walked onto court Philippe Chatrier to face Rafael Nadal told themselves the same thing. Today is different. I'm ready. I've got a plan. But once the match started, that belief quickly turned into despair.
Matches against him on clay have frustrated me so much in my career.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does that to anybody, on the clay.
Facing Rafa at Roland-Garros didn't quite feel like a tennis match. It was more like a sentence. Already written, already signed. You just didn't know it yet. Nadal wasn't just a competitor. He was the ultimate boogeyman. El Matador, the man behind the most difficult challenge, not just in tennis, but in all of sports. 14 French Open titles, 112 wins. A win rate pushing 97%. He never lost a final. Rafa didn't just dominate Roland-Garros, he was Roland-Garros.
En 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 et 2022. Il est espagnol, Rafael Nadal!
But what was it exactly that made Rafael Nadal such a difficult opponent on the clay at Roland-Garros? Why was playing him such a complete nightmare for any opponent who stepped on the court? Picture this. You're a professional tennis player. You've spent your entire life chasing one thing, winning Grand Slams. Thousands of hours, millions of reps, sacrificing everything for a shot at Roland-Garros. Then the draw comes out, and your name is next to Rafael Nadal. At that point, you're not thinking about winning the tournament anymore, you're thinking about surviving. Because every single time Nadal made the final in Paris, he won it. 14 finals, 14 titles. To put that into perspective, Novak Djokovic won Roland-Garros 3 times. Roger Federer won it once. Pete Sampras never won it at all. Nadal won it 14 times. The same number as Sampras's entire Grand Slam career. Across nearly 2 decades at Roland-Garros, Nadal went 112-4. The French Open didn't feel like an open tournament. It felt like Rafael Nadal's kingdom. The numbers are absurd, but they don't tell you why. They don't tell you what it actually felt like to stand on the opposite side of Nadal on the clay at Roland-Garros. So let's talk about that. Clay rewards something completely different than every other surface. Grass rewards big serves and quick points. Wimbledon was built for players like Sampras and Federer, guys who could end rallies before they even started. Hard courts reward balance, power, movement, and consistency. The most complete players usually win there. But clay slows everything down. The ball grips the court, bounces higher, and turns matches into wars of attrition. Flat power loses its edge. And then there's the topspin. On hard courts, heavy topspin jumps to your waist or shoulders. Difficult, but manageable. On clay, Nadal's forehand kicked up past your head. Suddenly, you're not hitting a normal backhand anymore. You're swinging above your shoulders, off balance, with no leverage, just trying to survive the rally. And because Rafa was a lefty, that forehand went straight into your backhand over and over again, relentlessly. Nadal generated over 3,500 RPMs of topspin with huge net clearance, which gave him insane margin while still pushing opponents further and further back behind the baseline. Even the greatest players looked rushed against him. That's what made Rafa so destructive on clay. He didn't just beat you with power, he broke your positioning, your timing, and eventually, your confidence. A typical point looked like this. Rafa hits a heavy cross-court forehand into your backhand. The ball jumps high, pushes you wide, and forces you into a defensive position immediately. Now, you have 2 bad options. Go cross-court back to Nadal's forehand, exactly where he wants it. Or you could try to go down the line from an awkward stretched position on clay, which is one of the hardest shots to hit in tennis. Against Nadal at Roland-Garros, there usually wasn't a good decision, only a less terrible one. But here's what some casual fans underestimate a bit about Rafa. It wasn't just the forehand. It was the engine behind it. Nadal also brought a new level of physicality and intensity that the sport genuinely hadn't seen before. His conditioning, his core strength, his lower body power, all of it was built to sustain long, brutal clay court battles without dropping his level. Simply put, Rafa was built differently. The court coverage and footwork were also exceptional. He could run down balls that were physically unreachable for almost anyone else on tour, and he could be completely out of position, stretched out, sliding, or 6 feet behind the baseline, and still somehow unload on a full swing. He could play brutal 4.5-hour matches in the Paris heat, and somehow look fresher in the 5th set than he did in the 1st. And that's the thing that broke players mentally more than anything else. You could hit the perfect shot, the right angle, the right place, the right placement. But Rafa, well, he would still get there. He was willing to suffer on the court more than anyone else. But underneath the tactics, the topspin, and the endurance, there was something else. Something that we couldn't quite measure. Rafa had aura in Paris. Before the first ball was even hit, opponents weren't just playing Nadal. They were playing the idea of Nadal at Roland-Garros.
And the way you jump around like Nadal does before we go out on the court, in the locker room, he's doing sprints next to you. I can even hear the music he's listening. So I was getting intimidated by that.
And, well, that idea was terrifying.
I will be honest, I'm scared to play Rafa on clay.
Then came the rituals. The perfectly lined up water bottles. The same routine before every serve. The hair, the shorts, the bounce of that ball. Was it superstition, focus, or some kind of psychological weapon? Maybe it was all three. Because while you waited, your mind started working against you. You'd overthink, tighten up, doubt the shot before you even hit it. And Rafa never gave you a crack. From the opening ball in the fifth set to 5-all in the fifth, same stare, same intensity, same pressure. There was no panic, no emotion, no weakness. If his forehand didn't finish you, the grind of it usually did. Roland-Garros became his torture chamber, and for some players, the only way to beat Nadal in Paris was if his body broke down before they did. Between 2005 and 2024, Rafa only suffered 4 defeats at Roland-Garros, leaving with a 112-4 tournament record. Each of those rare losses played out under some really unique circumstances. First, the 2009 loss to Robin Soderling in the 4th round was one of the biggest shocks in tennis history. Nadal had been nursing knee tendinitis and had some struggles off court. Soderling, however, played the match of his life, playing ultra-aggressively under humid weather conditions that favored his power game as he went on to win in 4 sets. But even the historians sometimes forget that Nadal avenged the loss the following year, beating Soderling in the final in straight sets. He then lost twice to Djokovic, in the quarterfinal in 2015, which just so happened to be one of the most difficult seasons in his career. Plagued by injuries, loss of form, and confidence, he got beaten by Novak in straights. If there was anyone who could beat Rafa on that day, it had to be Novak. Then there was 2021, a high-quality clash in the semis. Nadal took the first set, but ended up losing in 4. And to put this significance in perspective, this was the first time ever that he had lost a match at Roland-Garros after winning the opening set. It's crazy to think that although Djokovic beat Nadal twice at Roland-Garros, he was also his most frequent victim here, losing 8 times. And then 2024 came. This one was the most painful. Aging, injured, and unseated, Rafa drew Zverev in round 1. He had his moments, flashes of the old fire. But his body wouldn't hold. Rafa retired in 2024, but Roland-Garros continued on. New players are going to break through. At the moment, the overwhelming favorite, Jannik Sinner, is out of the picture, having lost in the 2nd round. Safe to say, for the first time in a long time, the French Open will be in for a surprise winner. But no one will ever forget about the man, the myth, and the legend that Rafael Nadal was at Roland-Garros. And I can do my best, but not me, nor anyone else, will ever be able to fully explain it. No matter who your favorite was out of the big 3 between Roger, Rafa, and Novak, there was something unquestionably special about Rafa's brilliance on the court. And all we can do now is remember his greatness and look forward to what the new generation is doing at Roland-Garros today. Guys, if you love this video, be sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a thing here on Courtside Tennis. And until next time, keep going for the lines.